Guys, welcome to today's lesson. My name is S.SRINIDHI. I've been working with Unacademy for a few months now. I teach English grammar on this platform. You guys can follow me on Unacademy by downloading the Unacademy Learning app on your phone from Google Play Store, and please do check out the YouTube channel as well. So in today's lesson, just like any other lessons, we're going to learn a few difficult words from the Hindu newspaper along with the proverb for the day. So let's get started.
Hey guys, so we're under the 7th lesson under the course Daily Hindu Analysis Part 2, where we pick out a few difficult words from the Hindu newspaper and we learn the meanings of those words and its synonyms and also how to use a specific word in a sentence. So we've also started including a proverb for the day. So we did a proverb in the previous lesson. So what we basically do is I give you a proverb today, and in the next lesson I will give you guys the meaning of it. So when I give you the meaning, I'll give you another proverb for the day. Alright, so let's get started with the words. The first word is consensus. Consensus. It's a noun. That means a general agreement among a group of people. So we also learned another word with the same meaning, say maybe in the previous lesson or 2 lessons before that, I'm not sure. Unanimous. So where a group of people take a decision without any doubt or without, there is no majority word, but everybody agrees to the same thing. So consensus is something like that. So agreements among a group of people. So general agreement. All right. So synonyms are unanimity, common consent. So consent is a permission. Common consent is everybody's permission. Example, the consensus amongst the world's scientists is that the earth is likely to warm up over the next few years. That means the general thought, or every scientist in the world agrees to the fact that the earth will get warmed up in the coming years. That means it will get even more warmer. Okay. Second word is diplomat. Diplomat is a noun, which means a senior official who discusses affairs with another country on behalf of his or her own country. That means a senior person or an officer from a higher strata who discusses matters relating to, who discusses matters with another country on behalf of our country. Okay, so more like an intermediate person. So that person is called a diplomat. Example, diplomats fear that the country would be split along ethnic lines. That means senior officials or people who transmit the messages from one country to another country on behalf of their native country fear that the countries would split along ethnic lines. Ethnic lines are ethnic groups, how do I say it, are the small communities inside a country. Okay, so that's a sentence. So I've been telling you all, if you guys can make up your own sentences, that'll be amazing. So please do post that on the comment section so that everybody can take a look at it. And yes, the third word is wield. Wield is a verb. If you wield a weapon, that means you carry the weapon and you use the weapon. So sometimes wielding a power, that means you have the power and you use the power. So wield can be used for both the things, for weapons as well as power. So weapons are considered to be powerful, but when you use it in a context where there are no weapons involved, that means it's the power of that specific person. Okay. Synonyms is swing. So not the swing that we sit and push ourselves in the park. This is the wheeled swing. Okay. Example, he remains chairman but wields little power in the company. That means he's still the chairman. We know chairman is a very high post and a person who has, a lot of authority over the decisions in the company. But in spite of him being the chairman, he exercises or he wields little power. That means he has only limited power in the company. So wields is to possess or to have that power. Next word is hail. Hail, if it is a verb, it means if a person or event is hailed as important or successful, they are praised publicly. Okay, so if if a person or an event is recognized and praised publicly, that means they hailed. That means they're considered important. That means they are praised. They are acclaimed. They honored. So synonyms, acclaim and honor. So it is not honor, it is honor. Okay. Next, example when it acts as a verb is Harper Lee was hailed as one of the greatest novelists back in her time. So Harper Lee is a novelist who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. So Harper Lee was hailed as one of the greatest novelists back in the time. Next one. So when hail acts as a noun, it means small balls of ice that fall like rain from the sky. So it will be raining, but then instead of droplets of water, you get ice balls. Okay, so that's hail. Synonyms are hailstorm and frozen rain. Sometimes they call this frozen rain. Example, the hailstorm caught us all by surprise. So yes, it's something to be surprised when you see ice balls falling like rain. So the fifth verb is probe. It's a verb, like I said. Probe is to ask questions or to try and discover the facts about something. Example, examine and investigate. You inquire about something. Okay? So you probe, you keep asking questions so that you want to get to the bottom of the issue and to discover the facts. Example, the more the police probed into his background, the more doubtful they got. So they were discovering skeletons after skeletons from his closet. So the more police investigated into his profile or into his background, the more doubtful they got because it was very shady. The next one is polygamy. So we all know what polygamy is. I'll explain it in spite of it. Polygamy is a noun. That means it's a practice of having more than one wife or a husband at the same time. So it's a practice where you can have multiple husbands if you are a female, and you can have multiple wives if you are a male. So it was practiced in the olden days, even in India, but now both polygamy and forced marriages are illegal. So forced marriages are something where the bride or the groom is forced to get married without their consent, okay, without their permission. So both are illegal in India. Next verb and the last word for today is chores. So chores is a noun, a task that one must do but finds it very unpleasant or boring. So unpleasant in not a negative way, but very boring way. So for example, washing clothes, washing dishes, or sweeping the house, mopping the house. So these are the daily tasks that we do, but we find them extremely annoying when we do it on a daily basis. So the synonyms are errand and task. So sometimes you hear your mom saying, I'll have to run a few errands. That means she has some work. Maybe she's going grocery shopping, or maybe she's picking up the clothes from the dry cleaners. So these are all tasks that, that seem boring after some point in time. For example, my dad and I share the household chores. So since we live together, both my dad and I share the household chores. That means we divide the work among ourselves so that, everybody gets bored equally. So proverb for the day. So this proverb I'd given you in the previous lesson. So here I will give you the meaning of it along with the sentence. Okay. So the proverb was, a drowning man will clutch at a straw. A drowning man will clutch at a straw. This means a person who is in very difficult situation or a very dire condition, he will take any available opportunity to save himself or to pull himself out of that condition. So when you are in a situation where you're desperate for something, you're desperate for help, and you don't mind taking any opportunity that comes out your way, even in spite of knowing that the straw, or in spite of knowing that opportunity has very little, very small line to save you, you still give it a chance. So desperate conditions require desperate options. So this can also be considered, sometimes they also use to negative connotations, where a man, when he is desperate, he might go to any extent to save himself. No matter if the options are bad, if he takes the wrong path, he doesn't care. If he takes the right path, he doesn't care. All he wants to do is to get out of that condition. No matter how many people he suppresses, no matter how many hearts he will break, he does not care. All he wants to get is to get out of that situation. So a drowning man will clutch at a straw. No matter how desperate, how feeble the outcome will be, he will do anything to save himself. So that's the meaning of this proverb. Let's see an example. The refugees were still clinging on to the hope that something good will happen but I think it's like a drowning man trying to clutch at a straw. So the refugees were, in spite of being stationed for quite a few months at the borders of the countries, they were still having hope in their eyes that something good will happen today or the next day. But seeing them hopeless makes me think that they're just like a drowning man trying to clutch at a straw. That means they try to explore all the opportunities they have in order to pull themselves out of that plight, but unfortunately it is not happening. So it's like a drowning man trying to clutch at a straw. So yes, as sad as it may sound, let's move on to the proverb for the day. So proverb for this lesson is, a house is not a home. A house is not a home. So if you guys know the meaning of this proverb, please let me know in the comment section, and I will give you guys the meaning of this proverb in my next lesson. Until then, bye bye.